Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for joining. I'd like to seek the blessings of Radha Madhav, the Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Purnitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, so that we can continue with the overview of the 10th canto. Today we are on chapter 68. Wanted to seek the good wishes and blessings of the assembled Vaishnavas as well. So this is a very nice verse from 68 chapter, text number 47.
Kopaste kila sikshatam na dveshan na cha matsarat vibharto bhagavan sattvam sthiti palana tatparaha. Translation: your anger is meant for instructing everyone. It is not a manifestation of hatred or envy of Supreme Lord. You sustain the pure mode of goodness and you become angry only to maintain and protect this world.
So this is a nice verse which is done in the context of Lord Balaram. We'll see in a few minutes how he goes and protects Samba, the son of Krishna and Jambavati. So this chapter is named, entitled The Marriage of Samba. It describes how the Kauravas captured him and how Lord Baladev dragged the city of Hastinapur to secure his release. So Samba is the darling son of Jambavati. He kidnapped Duryodhana's daughter Lakshmana from her Swayamvar assembly. And in response, the Kauravas joined forces to arrest him, not caring what the Vishnus would do in retaliation. So there's two prominent families, Kauravas and Vishnus. Vishnus include the Yadavs, Lord Krishna's family. And sometimes there would be some competition between them. And this was one of those times. So the senior members of the Kuru dynasty, Karn, Shala, Buri, Yagnaketu, Suyodhana, they set out to attack Samba. Samba was a child. Seeing Duryodhana and his companions rushing towards him, Samba, the great chariot fighter, took up his splendid bow and stood alone like a lion. After Samba held them off single-handedly for some time. So they were very impressed with his fighting skills. They would praise him for his skills. But eventually 6 warriors of the Kaurav party deprived him of his chariot, broke his bow to pieces, seized him, tied him up, and brought him and Lakshmana back to Hastinapur. So Lakshmana was the daughter of Duryodhana, and Samba and her, they wanted to be together. So he kidnapped her from her Swayamvar assembly. And of course, the ego of Duryodhana couldn't handle it. So they attacked Samba and captured him. So this is the Swayamvar of Lakshmana. And after the kidnapping, this is the Kuru dynasty discussing what to do with Samba. So they captured him. When King Ugrasen heard of Samba's capture, he called upon the Yadavs to retaliate. Angered, they prepared to fight. But Lord Balaram cooled the temperatures of the Vishnu heroes, the tempers, of the Vishnu heroes, who had already put on their armor, hoping to avoid. So he was hoping to avoid a quarrel between the Kuru and the Yadu dynasties. And he succeeded, even though Krishna was also ready to fight with the Kurus. But Balaram, for a change, he kept a cool head. Normally, he's the one with the hot head, so-called hot head. Of course, that's his hot head is transcendental. And usually Krishna calms him down. But in this situation, it was the other way around. The Lord, Balaram, set off for Hastinapur together with several Brahmins and the Yadav elders. This, I think this Balaram calming everybody down. The party of the Yadavs set up camp in a garden outside the city, and Lord Balaram sent Uddhav to ascertain King Dasharathra's frame of mind. When Uddhav appeared in the Kaurav court and announced Lord Balaram's arrival, the Kauravs worshipped Uddhav, and they also went to see the Lord, taking auspicious items to offer him. The Kauravas honored Balaram with rituals and items of respect. They gave gifts of cows and many other things, actually. Those amongst the Kurus who understood his true position bowed down to him, touching their heads to the ground. After both parties had heard that their relatives were doing well and both had inquired into each other's welfare and health, Lord Balaram forthrightly spoke to the Kurus the message of King Ugrasen. Now, Balaram doesn't mince his words. He conveyed Ugrasen's demand that they release Samba, even though by irreligious means, several of the Kurus defeated a single opponent who followed the religious code. Still, King Ugrasen is willing to tolerate this for the sake of unity amongst the family members. Now, the Kauravas were very puffed up. They had a lot of strength. Karn, Bhishma, Duryodhana himself. So they became angry and they started saying some crazy things. It is very amazing, they said, that the Yadavs are trying to give orders to the Kauravas. This is like a shoe trying to climb atop one's head. So they're making comparison that the Kurus are the chiefs, the head, the best, and the Yadavs are below them. It is from us alone that the Yadavs have obtained their royal thrones. And yet now they are presuming themselves our equals. Now, how they get that idea is very difficult to understand. But this is what false ego does, makes you think better than you are. It is because these Vrishnis are bound to us by marital ties that we have granted them equality. So Subhadra married Arjuna. So I suppose that's partly where they feel they're superior, because they,
Kunti.
yeah, and Kunti Mata as well, yeah. Allowing them to share our beds, seats, and meals. No longer will we extend to them royal privileges. Thinking that the others prospered by their grace and that they have now lost all shame and are daring to command them, the arrogant Kurus, thoroughly puffed up by the opulence of their high birth and relations, had spoken these harsh words to Lord Balaram. They turned and they went back to the city. That's Hastinapur. Seeing the arrogant character of the Kurus and hearing their nasty words, Lord Balaram became filled with rage. He laughed repeatedly and spoke as follows. This laughter must have been quite piercing. I was able to calm the furious Yadus and even Lord Krishna. Desiring peace for these Kauravas, I came here, and they have disrespected me out of conceit. So then Balaram is asking a whole series of questions. So King Ugrasen is not fit to command when Indra and the other planetary rulers obey his orders? That same Krishna who occupies the Sudharma assembly hall, whose lotus feet are the source of holiness for all places of pilgrimage, is worshipped by all the demigods, like Brahma and Shiva. So he's not fit to sit on a royal throne, because they were arguing that they got the Vrishnis got the royal throne thanks to the Kurus. The goddess of fortune herself worships Lord Krishna.